Alright, in this video we will see how to create a filter in the shop page that filters RAM and SSD. So as you see, this is a laptop shop. One of my customer wants the filter to work on custom fields. So each laptop has a custom field, RAM and SSD, and these RAM and SSD can be filtered. Let's say I want a laptop which has 16 GB RAM, and if I filter, you'll find those 16 GB RAM laptops available. Similarly, I want 16 GB RAM with the storage of 1 TB, and if I click on filter, you'll find a laptop with 16 GB RAM and 1 TB storage. So this was a requirement from my client, and over here what I have done is, suppose there are so many options, people can search for it by typing it. If I select 12, and if I type 12, you'll find the auto suggesting 12 GB. Like if I want 256 GB storage, you'll find 260 GB storage as I type. Previously what we had to do is, we were just looking on and finding what is in the drop down. Now we are able to select it, sorry, we are able to type it and find the suggestion, and based on that we'll select it. So here we have used the combo box. So this is called combo box in jQuery, but WordPress by default provide you, and it's in WordPress term it's called select to. So select to is a drop down box with which where you can type and get the suggestion accordingly. So this is the first feature that we are going to see, and the second feature is, we are going to add the custom field heat custom field in the form of meta box on each products. That's the second feature that we are going to look at, and the third feature is pagination. So if you look at it in the page, you'll have pagination. First page has 5 products, second page has 5 products, third page has 5 products. So I have already inserted those products, and you'll find him. So we have 3 different features that we're going to look at: the custom field, the select combo box, and the pagination. And I'll show you how the data we have inserted. Now if I click on edit product, so without a plugin, this is how the page would look like in a normal Woocommerce page. Also the fourth feature is, we are going to modify the shop page as well. So this is a shop page, and we have modified and made it with this in this way. It was like 4 in a row, and it doesn't show the meta box data or the custom field data like RAM and SSD. So I have modified the shop page and made display the select box, the pagination, and the product grid with the meta box. So I'll show you how I have made it. And if you see, if I click on edit all products or add products, you'll find these 2 meta boxes, RAM and SSD. Previously we were adding it as a custom field, but now we'll use a meta box which WordPress provides. It's the same concept, no new thing is added, because in the WordPress plugin playlist we have created so many meta boxes. It's one such thing. So without wasting time, let's get started. So first of all, let me just deactivate the old one, and to create a plugin you need a folder in the plugins. I have set up my WordPress locally, WP. So inside WP content you'll find 4 plugins. Inside plugins you'll find, you need to create Woocommerce. I just name it as Woocommerce, and it should have a PHP file, and that PHP file should have the name. So inside plugins, Woocommerce, this name should be similar to your folder name. It's recommended, but it's not completely required. Now we need to pass information like what is the plugin name, what is the description is about, what the plugin is about, and the version and the author. So to do that, we need to pass PHP comment. So we are saying we want Woocommerce, and this is the description, and this is the version number, and here you can type your name as a plugin developer name. If I refresh, you'll find a new row with your plugin shows up. As of now, it doesn't do anything. Now what I want is, since I have deactivated, if I click on edit product, you'll find those meta boxes are gone. Now we need to add a meta box just below our product description. So whenever we want meta boxes, we have a hook, and in that hook we'll attach a function, and in the function we have another function. So this is a function name that you have to focus on, and this function is responsible for rendering those HTML fields. So as of now, I'm just giving a name for the function to handle for WordPress. So the WordPress takes care of it, and this is the description about the meta box, and this is the function that will output the HTML. We are going to output two input box with this HTML, and I'm saying the post type show this on all post type called products. So you can see post type, this is the product post type, and there are three different post type, majorly three different post type, one product and one pages and one post, and comment is also post type, media is also post type in WordPress. And I'm saying that let the post type be product, show it on all products, and I have set where to display. I want the meta box to display just below the product description, and then I'm setting the priority high. Sorry, in the normal there are two options, normal or aside. If you make this side, it will show up on the sidebar. If you make it normal, it will be in the normal flow, just where your all the text box are. And I'm saying this, set this high so that it comes right after the description. Now let's define this HTML. I'm going this little faster because we have already seen this 67 times in the WordPress plugin development tutorial playlist, and this is Woocommerce playlist, that's different. Now I am using this HTML function and displaying those fields. Input field here, only the name attribute is important, and I'm fetching and storing it in WP metadata. So all the information related to post gets saved into WP metadata in the form of key value pair. So this is a key. You need to understand, you need to look only on the key, and the value is whatever is stored on the input field. So I have, this is just rendering part of HTML. Once you render, you will just see those two input field. If the value is saved, then you will find, I have not activated the plugin, search. If the value is there, then those value will be fetched from the WP post meta and displayed it over here. If there is no value, then it would be blank. So this is just the rendering part. So search is activated, and let me hard refresh. As said, you will find the fields just below the product description, and this is the description, what the name that we have provided over here, product specs. And if the data is already present, then those value would be fetched and displayed it over here. So that's done. Now the saving part. So this is how the normal CRUD operation. When I click on save, there is a hook called save post that calls our function. Save post product calls our function, and the our function fetches, since it's the form, we'll use the name attribute. You can see I'm checking with the help of post super global variable whether the input field has a data or not. If the input field has data, then insert into the WP post meta with the help of key and value pair. So the same way, key and value pair. If there is no data, then delete it. So to access WP metadata, WordPress gives you three functions. So there are many functions. More probably we'll be using three functions. One to get information from WP metadata, which is get post meta, and one to update. To save, we have update post meta, and to delete it, we have delete post data. So these meta boxes are actually extra information about the post. Whenever, for this particular post with ID 12, whenever you add a meta box, it's additional information about this post. So this additional information gets stored in WP post meta, so that we can access whenever we want. So this is how the WordPress architecture work, and this is how we usually add meta box and save it. Now we need since I have added all the 15 products, I have inserted all the specs for those 15 products. Now in the shop page, let's see how does it looks. So once you add those product, WordPress doesn't know that you have to show your custom field over here and you want to modify. So what I'll do is I want to modify this shop page. So to modify the shop page, you need to create a folder just to differentiate them. Inside templates, we need to create a new file. So I'm going to name it as archive product. And I want WordPress to know that when this plugin is active, when my current plugin is active, whenever people clicks on shop, and don't show the old WooCommerce shop page, instead show my archive product. So I want to say it, so we can say it with the help of a hook, and that hook is called template include. So I'm saying to the WordPress, whenever people are looking for shop, or whenever people looking for a category or tag, when WordPress looks for archive.product, instead of showing archive.product, show my file. So this path will say where your file is located. So this plugin path, my plugin path, along with the structure that we have created right now. And if the file exists, then display it, or else show the old WooCommerce default shop page. So if I refresh, my page has nothing, so this page should be blank. Yes, it's blank. Now what I need, for the first and foremost thing, we need the shop products. That's the first thing. All the products from the shop, all the products to be displayed on this page. Along with that, meta boxes. So in the meta boxes, there are only two fields, and these two fields I want to display it in the form of search box, or you can say filterable combo box or drop down. So here what I'll do is I'll fetch all the 15 products RAM, I'll fetch all the 15 products SSD. So if suppose there are 15 products and 5 of them has 8 GB RAM, 5 of them has 12 GB RAM, and 5 of them has 16 GB RAM. So instead of showing 15 times these value randomly, like 5 times RAM, 5 times 8 GB, 5 times 12 GB, 5 times 16 GB, what I'll do is I'll simply make them unique. If there are 5 8 GB RAM, then display once. If there are 5 16 GB RAM, display once. If there are 5 12 GB RAM, display once. So we would be writing a query accordingly. So let's do that. So I'm using WPDB. So with the help of WPDB, I'm selecting a query. I'm using the function called get column. So the get column is used whenever you want only one column data. So since we know we need only one column, which is RAM and SSD, and this I'm using a prepare statement, and this statement what it does is select all the, instead of select the meta value, and that meta value should be from WP post meta, and it should exactly match the key, which is this is key, and I want all the values to be ordered and distinct. This distinct keyword will just make sure the condition that if there are 5 8 GB, then display it once. So I'm doing the same for hard drive, which is product SSD. This is key, and the key value pair is important. You have to understand the key and the value. Then that's when your life would get easy when you create shop page. So I have fetched all those. Now the second thing is I want to fetch all the products. To fetch those, what we'll do is I'll fetch, I'm saying that per page I want only 5 products, and I'm setting an argument saying that I need all the post type which is product, which should be published, and 5 per page, and this is for the pagination. So if suppose you have 15 products, I'm showing 5 per product, so you will have 3 2 and 1. So these are paged, which will have in the URL. I'll show you once it gets ready. Now this we will get it from the query arcs. So this query arc is very important. every WordPress, before displaying any page, any product on this page, WordPress runs a main query. Let's say a main query is called WP query, and WP query has many number of values in it. So we are just picking only one or two values. Like we want post, thumbnail, we want the title, we want these two custom fields. So whenever WordPress runs a WP query, I want only a particular data to pick it from. So to pick one particular data, we use this query, get query where. So I need, since WordPress WP query has so many values, I'm picking one value which is paged. So it will know whether you are in the first page, whether you are in the second page, whether in the third page. So based on that, I'm passing it to the query. So just to give you a deep insight, so let's say we have 15 products. So we have 15 products and we are displaying 5 per page. So this will query accordingly. So if you are in the first page, so only these products would be displayed. If you are in the third page, only these unique values will be displayed. So if you are in the second page, likewise, only these products will be displayed. So that's the reason why we are specifically saying that I need 1, I need 2, I need 3. So WordPress will query accordingly. So if you want only the second page, so WordPress will query like start from 6 and end on 10. So these are unique IDs which product assigned to. So that's how the pagination works internally in PHP. Now since this query is done, we need to run a query. To run a query, we'll just use WP query to run, and all the data will be stored in the product query. And now since we have picked the product query, we will just display it in the HTML. So in the select field, since we have received from this get call RAM values, so there are multiple values, so it will be in the array. So we'll use the for each loop to display one after the other. Again the same way for the SSD, this filter. Then for each product, so you can see product query which I have received with the help of WP query, I'm just populating the perma. So you can see we have permalink, then we have title, then we have these two keys which is meta key, RAM and SSD, and this is enough to make your product display on this particular page. So this is how it would look. I have removed preserve queries. I'll show you what it does. So as of now, it has no CSS and JS. So our RAM or dropdown is also not initialized. So to initialize, what we'll do is we need to enqueue the script. So we need to create a style.css. Inside search, we need style.css. I need to paste all the styles, required style. So I'm pasting it. Now we need to show through a plugin where your style.css. So that's where the enqueue script comes. With the help of enqueue script, I'm saying that initialize the select to with the CDN, and also initialize my style sheet, which is in style.css, the plugin link and the style.css. Now if I refresh, you'll find the page got styled. Now as of now it's not showing. We'll work on it. Now we need to, so let me just remove the selected RAM so that we can see the values. So you got it right. Now what I need is, if I select this and click on filter, you see these values get appended into the query. So URL parameters. So these URL parameters we need to fetch from the URL. So let's do that. So we are fetching those from the URL parameter. The reason for fetching it is, so we need to fetch these and give it to the WP query, and once WP query gets these two values, and it will filter only these products and display it over here. So now you have already seen we are using this query to filter all the products, but along with this argument we need to pass these two values as well. So to pass these two values, WordPress gives you something called meta query. So with the help of meta query, we just need to mention that my key is this and my value is whatever is in the URL parameter. So whatever is in the URL parameter, I'm fetching it and display and storing it into a variable called selected RAM, selected SSD, and I'm running a query called meta query and passing the URL parameter which I have received to this meta query, and I'm saying that this is the key which we store it in WP Force meta, and this is the value which I have received, and compare it with the equal operator, and the type that we will be receiving is character. So once the meta query is set, we need to pass this meta query array to a argument. So this argument is responsible for fetching the products. So instead of fetching all the products, fetch all the products but with condition. So this condition we are providing with meta query, and I'm setting if there is a meta query, then only append it to the main query. So our args is a main query, and I'm appending the meta query. The meta query is this one, and the relationship is and this is enough to make your filter work. As of now, it doesn't have any 12. Now let me just filter 16 GB and click on filter. You'll find values only of 15 GB. Sorry, 16 GB. If I filter 8 GB, you'll find only the values of 8 GB. So you can see our filter is working fine. Now it's time for the pagination. So pagination is really very easy. We just need to pass a function. This is the function, some parameters. So this is the function, and these are the parameters. So over here, I'm just saying let the URL be this way, page equal to 1. So in this value, either it's going to be 1, either it's going to be 2, or either it's going to be 3. As I've already showed you how WordPress displays the product by explaining this way. So we are just passing which page are we in. With this value, we'll get it from query args, get query arg. Let me just show you again. Get query variable. So we are getting it from here, which page we are in and what is the total number of page. We can access it with this query, and I want this to be in the list form. So that's why list, and the previous should have this icon, and the next should have this icon, and I'm preserving it. So this preserve is important. What is this preserve args? So preserve args is 8 GB, and whatever you type it over here, let's say 1 TB. So these values, 1 TB is not present. Let's check this. So these values gets saved even after I select those values. So usually what happens is WordPress forgets the argument which is there in the URL. So I'm preserving it even after we select these values and get into pagination. So the main concept is pagination. So if I click on 2, the value should stay. That's the concept. That's why we are using query args, and where we are defining the query args. Once we get the values from the URL, I'm just checking whether the URL value is there or not. If the URL value is there, then push it in the query args. If the URL has some SSD value, then push it in the query args. And based on this, since we have very less product, I'm not sure whether you understand. Let's say we have 8 GB, and let me make this to 56. So I would be better able to display explain you once I make this 4. Yes. Now there are 5 values for this search, but it is getting displayed only 4. So the reason for it, I want to explain how the preserve query works. Preserve args works. So now if I get into page number 2, you will see these value will be there on the URL. So you can see these value are there on the URL. That's the reason we use preserve args, preserve argument, so that WordPress knows that we are in this particular page number, and we want to fetch those values. So that's the reason why we set uh, preserve arcs. I hope I have made it clear. We just need to pass those links. That's only the important. We don't have to create anything. WordPress already has it. So this is not WooCommerce function. This is WordPress function, which you can find it in WP includes inside WordPress. WP includes inside general template. You'll find paginate link. You see paginate link. It's already defined in WordPress core. WooCommerce is just reusing it, which WordPress already has. So these pagination works on vlogs, categories, tags, but we are making it on the shop page as well. So that's the part I wanted to highlight, and that's done. So we have seen 4 different features here. One with select combo box, which WordPress usually does. That's first. And the second one is we have used meta boxes to show the custom field on the product, to show custom field. And the third one is we have seen how to add pagination, and the fourth thing is how to customize the whole shop page because we have customized the whole shop page. So the reason for customizing shop page is I want the product to display the meta box like the RAM and the SSD. And that's all for the video. Thank you so much for listening.